I'll be now introducing our chief guest, Ms. Anju ma'am. Uh, we feel honored to have respected Anju Sharma ma'am as our chief guest today. Anju ma'am is a member of prestigious Indian Administrative Services and has been serving in the government at senior leadership positions.
I think all these people know me well, so you may leave the introduction because you have so many speakers and I also have less time. I have another webinar waiting actually these 3 days, 6th, 7th and 8th because of Women's Day and everything that is like just crazy. So
we welcome you, ma'am, and we are excited to hear from you.
Thank you. It's very nice to see this young team organizing this Makers Fest, and I respected Anilji, Ashaji. Ashaji, I've heard your name a lot, but could never see you face to face. I think we are on the same platform for the first time. And you people have been working a lot in the field of innovations since long. And Anilji, of course, I know that he was like a torch bearer and he was talking innovation at a time, and nobody was doing that and nobody would listen to it. And he used to go all around in his jura and, he made it a movement. But fortunately for us, in the higher and technical education system the last 4 years, the one thing we took up as a big challenge was to inculcate this innovation culture in the educational system of Gujarat. And I don't know, you people may be able to give my report card better. But then the change that I've seen is that when I spoke to students and faculty members in 2017, when we started the Student Startup and Innovation Policy, was like they didn't understand what innovation was. It was just like, making some exhibits and working on some projects, internet-based and whatever. And so all kind of issues, they didn't understand what is innovation. And today, after 4 years down the line, I am very proud to say that even the remotest areas of Gujarat, even small polytechnics are filing patents. They understand innovations. They are setting up startups, and it's a kind of movement that we have been able to start in Gujarat. And the ownership of all this is fortunately is not with us. The ownership of this entire thing is with the students, with faculty members, with the institutions. Just a few days back, somebody was talking to me, and yes, that was some institution had approached me for some kind of an understanding and MOU and tie-up and collaboration, blah, 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 blah. And the model that they gave to me was a top-up approach. I told to them, see, we don't work like this. This is how we work. Well, this is bottom-up approach. I said, see, this is the way we work. I work in a bottom-up approach. We don't work in a top-down approach. So if you have to work, if you want to work top-down, sorry, I'm not the person for it. You find another person who can collaborate with you. My style is bottoms-up. We start from the lowest level, that is the students and the faculties, and then we take it up. So this is how we've been working in SSIP. And the greatest contributors and collaborators are the students and the faculty members. It's their movement. It's the way they have done. They have performed well. Now we started with Student Startup and Innovation Policy. We started encouraging them into taking up innovative research projects. In the first year, it was very difficult for me to have even, say, 300 innovative projects getting picked up. And I was like, how am I going to do it? But then we again started with a lot of vigor. And today we have more than 4,000 innovative projects, and from which a large number have gotten converted into patents. A large number of them have gotten into startups, and a large number of them which have not been taken up formally as innovative projects, but they've directly moved on to the level of startups. And then we started iHub to act as a common resource center. And We started 18 flagship schemes, Startup Samarth, Startup Sathi, Startup Manak, Startup Mart, Mind to Market program, which is our latest program to tie up with the corporates and the industry, and which is really, really picking up well. And there's a huge demand for the Mind to Market program, including from defense to GUVNL, to the extent that I have to halt it. No. Right now, we are not in a position to take more. We'll go slow. Because when I sign MOUs, it means that when I enter into collaboration, it means that I have to deliver. It cannot be just an MOU lying in one corner on the shelf and okay, we did the MOU, we put each other's logo and that's it. So we are going slow, and I have at least 8 to 10 MOUs still lying on my table. But we are not going ahead with it in the Mind to Market program because we are gradually, already we are having 9 to 10 dynamic innovation challenges running, and great response from the students. In fact, before it was done, nobody could even imagine that students had such a huge potential. And they come from all kind of backgrounds, from the poorest of the poor, from the remotest of the remote, from agriculturists to industrialists to educationists. Everybody is becoming a part of this innovation culture now. They just want to innovate. They just want to create something new. A bigger challenge in this is to gear up the education system and to mold it to the needs of the innovators. And I tell you, it is really difficult to change the minds of or to influence the minds of our great educationists who head the institutions, because the way they have been brought up. See, what we have to do is not to think, see, unfortunately, when we work in an education system, and my ideas sometimes sound very crazy to people. See, most of the time when we're dealing with curriculum, most of the time when we're dealing with pedagogy, we are thinking of today. It's not that. When we are teaching the students, when we are imparting education, we are imparting education to the students who are going to live in a world 20 years hence or 15 years hence. That will be the time when they will be active role players in the society. So what you're teaching them today, is it going to be relevant 20 years hence? Are you imparting them the skills that will be relevant to them 20 years hence? Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in the education system. What we teach them today is the knowledge of today. And we focus on knowledge rather than the ability to receive knowledge and apply knowledge. Knowledge is going to change. See, the what math I studied, what physics I studied 40 years back, 35 years back, 30 years back, it's totally different from what physics, math, and technology today they are studying. So knowledge is going to change. If we focus a lot on knowledge, then certainly we are going to get lag behind. We're going to lag behind because you just give them knowledge and forget about it. What happens after 5 years? That knowledge becomes irrelevant. That knowledge becomes totally out of times. What we should focus is on ability to apply, receive knowledge, imbibe knowledge, and apply knowledge. That should be the sole focus of education. And for that, we have to develop pedagogy that focuses on these things. On the basics, we have to prepare the mold, but unfortunately, we all want to prepare the statues themselves. Fix the statues, put them on the wall. That statue becomes irrelevant after 2 to 5 years. We have to create a mold which is so flexible that in 5 years, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or 5 years, 30 years, because that student has to go from the age of 15 or 10, at 10, 15, 20 in your institution to an age of 70, 80, 60 years, just understand what has happened in the last 60 years. And are we providing that kind of education that can enable them to imbibe and apply everything in the next 60 years? So that has to be focused. And for that, I think the best way is to open up their minds, to make them innovate, to make them creative, to be original, not develop boundaries around them, but allow them to think innovatively, to think totally out of the box, because future will be not in the box, future will be outside the box, and that's unknown. So ability to deal with the unknown is what education should aim at. And in this Makers Fest, these young students, they've been trying to bring together innovations from various areas and making a good effort on their own to light up this fire is very, very inspiring, very, very impressive. And I wish them all the best. And I would like to collaborate with them. I would like to help them, support them in whatever way I can. Today is only a small gesture, and unfortunately, I don't have much time today. Otherwise, I would have spent more time with you all. And thank you so much for inviting me. And thanks a lot. And we'll meet some other day also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anju ma'am, for your kind presence and words of encouragement for MakerFest Vadodara and being one of the torch bearers of innovation and startup ecosystem. We are indeed all inspired. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.